Are your toes coming up off the floor when you push into the ground in the snatch or the clean? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix that and get more force into your lift. Hey, it's Drew Dillon from Project Lift. In today's video, we're looking at the toes lifting up off the floor as we're moving from the floor to the hip in the snatch or the clean. Now, when this is happening, we're losing force into the ground. So there's a big opportunity. You're leaving kilos or pounds, if that's what you're counting in, off the bar. So let's get this fixed so you can start to lift more weight and people can be envious of your movement. Guys, if you're watching this video, I imagine you want to get better at these movements, the Olympic lifts, and we have a free guide for you. It's how to improve your Olympic lifts now, not tomorrow, not yesterday, right now in this moment. And in this guide, you're going to find some very helpful things that you can apply today. Now, once this video helps you guys, make sure that you send it to a friend, pay it forward, don't be a jerk. Nobody likes that guy. Make sure you smash that thumbs up and subscribe, guys, because new videos are coming each week to help you with your movement. Let's get into it. The first cause to your toes coming up off the ground that we have on our list today is the start position. So if you're in a poor start position, I always like to equate it like launching a rocket at the moon. If you're 2 degrees off from Earth, how far off are you going to be once that rocket gets to the moon? A whole lot more than 2 degrees. So when we're looking at the start position Olympic lift, we need to think about it the same way. We want to be in a great start position. And if you think about the movement, the start position is the only position that you have complete control of in the moment. So make it perfect, make it beautiful. So when we get set in that start position, when we're looking at the feet need to be loaded fully throughout the entire foot. But if I'm going to put an emphasis to it, there's an emphasis closer towards the ball of the foot in the start position. If you are loading your heels completely in the start position, when you drive and you get to that knee, all your weight, all your force is going to be on the heels. It's very common to have the toes lift, some foot movement going on there, and that is losing power in your movement. So get your weight set closer to the ball of the foot at the start position. And then the second thing about the start position is when you drive, is driving through the ground to drive your torso straight up. Now here's the kicker. A lot of times when we drive, even in a good foot position, athletes will drive back towards their heels. Now, here's the thing. If you're driving back, if you're putting your momentum and force back off the floor, again, very often we overload the heel in the movement by the time we get to the knee and the toes lift up. So there's our first cause, is a poor start position, and there are your 2 fixes. 1, making sure your weight is through the full foot, emphasis closer to the ball of the foot, and then 2, when you push off the floor, make sure you're pushing and driving your torso straight towards the ceiling versus driving your body back towards the heel. All right, our second cause of our toes lifting up off the floor when we're doing a snatch or a clean, we're gonna highlight overthinking about getting the knees out of the way. A lot of times athletes are coached into this. You're told, get your knees back, your knees back. Other things can happen other than your toes just coming up, but very often this can be a cause of athletes wanting to get back towards their heel and get those knees back, which lift their toes up. Now, everything I said in the first point about the start position applies to getting the knees out of the way. Good start position with weight through the foot towards that base of the big toe, that ball of the foot area. And when you drive, driving your torso up towards the ceiling, right? So I mentioned, that spot between our shoulder blades, driving that towards the ceiling. Another cue we can add to this is imagining a laser coming out of your chest, hitting the wall. And when you drive your legs, imagine that laser pushing up the wall, right? Keeping the same angle. If the angle changes, if your torso dips over and that laser drops, very often we've let our butt shoot up, we've fallen out of position. But if we're getting into a good start position and we're truly driving with our legs, our knees will get out of the way. So this is more of a cognitive issue of how we're thinking about the movement. If you're thinking you have to drive all the way back towards your heels, or that's your strategy to get the knee out of the way, you are basically applying this into your movement to have the toes come up and to lose force going into the floor. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, comment below. Let us know your question and we'll try to clarify it. All right, I'm tossing in one more cause of why our toes come up, why our feet move in the Olympic lifts. And as we pass the knees, when we start to get into our back too soon, when we start to want to lift this with our arms, our back starts to activate, we stop putting pressure into the floor. And this creates this ability for our toes to turn out, for our feet to move, for our toes to come up. Our pressure is no longer being applied into the floor, but now our nervous system's imagining it's going to be lifting this body with the back and the arms. It's a disconnection of the whole system. So the fix here is to practice good start position, good foot pressure. Snatch, clean deadlifts are great. Driving through the floor the whole time, and as you move past the knee, feel your force continuing to stay in the floor as you hinge open. Really starting to become aware of, are my feet still into the floor? Is there still force? Is there still engagement? Or does that engagement turn off as I start to hinge from the knee to the hip and I'm getting into my back and I'm getting into my arms too soon? So that one, to be truthfully honest, is a little bit more complex, but I want to put it out there because if it helps you, I want it to. And if that is something you're seeing as you're doing this on your own, let me know below. Let us know, because we can definitely create more content on that. I wish you luck. Let us know how it goes, and until next week.